Boo. I'm out of all sorts today. That's okay. We have a family member who's currently, there we go, in the hospital, about to give birth, apparently. So this will probably be a stream that might be small, right? Because we're all just kind of waiting. So, and if I like jump on the phone, that's, you know, that's why too as well. So I do apologize for that. So yeah, I just thought I'd do it. Hey, going to everyone that's in the chat. Oh man, I want to show, like, I want to show you something, right? I'm gonna show you something. So now, like, you know, because it's the hypocritical thing about gamers, right? If it's your favorite franchise, and you're like, no, I love this. This is, you know, this is perfect and stuff, and I love everything I'm seeing. And then somebody says something that they don't like about it, they instantly get on your back, right? Instantly. And then, adding on top of that, these very same people will criticize other franchises in the same manner that they're complaining about me criticizing their favorite franchise, right? We are paying a huge amount for gaming. Huge amount, right? We're not, you know, we're not paying biscuits here. We're paying a lot for gaming, all right? Don't tell me I can't be critical, okay? You pay like $100 for a game. More if you're getting like the season pass, you know, just one season pass, not lifetime season pass. Then they put in a currency shop, like a, you know, like an in-game shop to buy stuff with real currency. Then they put in a battle pass. This is, I guess it's sort of my problem, actually. It's like, I love gaming. I do love gaming. My Steam library, I bought over, what am I up to now? 8,124 games, right? So I kind of love gaming, right? I hope I'm allowed to take my Steam library when I go to heaven one day. You know, when I'm like 100. So, so I do love gaming. I support gaming. I support the industry. But, it's also getting very, very expensive, right? We have to be very careful and pick and choosy about what we spend. We have battle passes So the first worry with like was, you know, paying real money for something in a game was pay to win. And now it's just pay to look, right? They've turned it around because they know that people will pay more money for cosmetics than they will for power, right? And that's the problem. So every single bloody game out there is infected with this battle pass crap, right? Now I want to show you this just before we, you know, get into it, because I know some people have expressed some stuff, and I'll read them out in a sec. So this is like my normal Twitter, right? And Kenny, I think, is one of Max's friends. He seems cool. He goes, I see so many MK Twitter fans hating on cameos or cameos getting too much screen time. That's crazy talk. The ending poses and intros look amazing. I can't wait for my main character to pose with my cameo. I'm just imagining all the teams we could have. Yeah, it's not really. And then so I simply replied, you're confusing hate with concern. If cameos was a fully realized tag mode, no one would be worried. You know how I told you about financial incentive? Right? This is what I'm talking about. It's not against the person. The person seems really nice. But what I'm saying is, though, this is the problem. This is the absolute honeymoon period, right? You see that hot chick. Man, hot chick. You know, she's never going to look at you. And then she looks at you, right? And you're like, man, this is amazing. And then she, like, has sex with you. You go, man, it's amazing. And then a week later, your dick falls off because you got, like, 5 venereal diseases that you didn't know about because you didn't think. Right? That's what I'm saying, man. Okay? This I'm seeing everywhere. This kind of crap, right? Don't be critical. You haven't played it. You don't know what's... Listen, I'm not saying it's not going to be a fun feature. What I'm saying is, though, is that I've been in this game long enough that I can see the cracks well in advance. Right? Well in advance, right? So, I play a lot of MMOs. Guild Wars 2, if anyone's familiar. Guild Wars 2 is an MMO. It's a sequel to one of my favorite online games ever. And when Guild Wars 2 was coming out, ArenaNet were lying. They were lying about their game. It is a great game for what it does, but they were lying at the time. They were saying that the entire world, everything you do gets changed and, you know, blah, 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 and things like that. And I'm like, you know, because they have these things called dynamic events, right? Where you partake in this event and you might defend the village from centaurs, and then you might do a couple of things to strengthen the village, and then the next wave might be the centaurs trying to retake it back, and then you defend them, right? And everyone's going, oh, it's amazing, it's gonna be it's never, nothing is ever gonna be the same. Nah, man, because everything's on a loop. It's a video game, right? Everything's going to be on a loop. It's not tailored just to you. It's tailored to everyone that's in that server. So everything is going to, like, eventually going to reset, right? So other people are able to enjoy it as well. And it wasn't just that. They were sitting there saying crap about, oh, you know, other MMOs are boring and this, that. You just swing a sword and stuff. Dude, you swing a sword in their game too. It's no different. It's just a little bit more action orientated, right? And I called it out. And back when you had a dislike bar, my dislike bars on my Guild Wars 2 videos look like Sith lightsabers, right? You had this tiny bit of green and a massive red dong. A year or so later, I had people coming back to those videos that I had and saying to me, you know what, man, I'm sorry. I got all up in your face about it because it was all fresh and new. And after playing it, I realized that what I was saying was true. And I'm not saying I'm bloody prophet, right? But I do have a knack to look through the glitz and the glam and go, gameplay trailer for MK1 looks great. Character models look great. Somebody actually shared a screenshot. I don't know if I've still got it on him. Did I keep it? No. No, I didn't. Somebody shared a screenshot, right? Of it was a picture of me, like in the stream, like it was one of my videos, right? And And somebody had left a comment, like a developer left a comment commenting on the graphics, because it was the video I said, oh, people aren't happy with the graphics. Personally, I actually really like the graphics, like, because I think I did in question mark, right? Personally, I really like the graphics of MK1. They've scaled back, thankfully. They've scaled it right back. Feels a lot more natural. The colors feel more natural. The backgrounds pop, like they're beautiful, like, but they also feel very sort of, everything, like the game looks beautiful, right? I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is that it's not enough. Graphics are not enough. The amount of characters is not enough when the core mechanic of a game is crap. If the engine is shit, right, and you feel like every time you're fighting against the engine and then the player, like you feel a lot with MK11 and MK10 to a degree, as much as MK10 is good, right? You do feel like that, then that's a problem, right? Every single big YouTuber, streamer that covers Mortal Kombat is going to sit there and say it's the greatest thing ever. Why? Because they do not want to lose chances to have interviews, to experience gameplay and stuff like that, right? And I hate it. I hate it with a passion because nobody's honest. I'm 90% sold on the game. I'm going to buy it, right? No big deal, right? I'll buy it. But I think that, like, you know, everyone has the right to be critical of it. And this sort of stuff is really bad. It says, don't talk about it in a negative way just because I like it. Listen, and I'm not being disrespectful when I say this to people, but if you are that mentally weak that another man's opinion on the internet messes with you, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Right? Just stop drinking out of the toilet. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, you know, like, it shouldn't... People have to understand, at the end of the day, despite our opinions, it's your money. Spend it how you want and enjoy it how you like. I don't care. I'm not going to sit here, right, upset that people are enjoying the game. There are people out there that enjoy MK11. I think it's a pile of crap. It is. Right? From top to toe, it's a pile of crap. Okay? Worst roster ever. Gameplay mechanics are crap. The what do you call it? The fatal blows system takes way too long. The crushing blows was crap. All, you know, there's just so much, you know. So MK1 does look like an improvement, but they are selling you nostalgia. That's why they are going to bring back characters like they're doing in the cameo system to go, well, they're not playable, but they show up sometimes. That's why I hate it. That's why I hate it. You got a game from 12 years ago, bro. 12 years ago with Mortal Kombat 9. Fully realized tag system. Base roster bigger. Base starting roster bigger than MK10, MK11, and MK1. As in 2023 MK1. See what I mean with the stupidity of the name, right? It's got a bigger starting roster. And then they added 3 extra characters, which is a nice round 30. Right, I'll show you. I'll prove it to you, right? So I shared these. Hang on. So this is the starting roster. Right? 27, 25, 25, 24. MK1's got the smallest starting roster. And I have included did I include Shang Tsung? I think I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it is 25. Maybe it is 25 for MK1, right? Now hang on. What is it? 24 Shang Tsung. Yeah. So, well, hang on a sec. Well, okay, sort of. Okay, so I can be half right and half wrong. If you don't pre-order the game, you miss out on Shang. Right? So let's assume somebody walks in on day 1, non-pre-order. Your starting roster when you get home is 24 characters. Right? There's probably actually some adjustments there too. But anyway, you can see what I'm saying. starting roster anyway is Mortal Kombat 9 from 12 effing years ago. And not just that, a fully realized tag mode. 1000%. Every single character can be used as a tag partner. There's no restrictions, nothing. Integrated with doing moves, combos, everything. Beautiful, right? Now, we're not going to know MK1's final roster, but it's kind of interesting, don't you think, that with no guest characters, right? After 12 years of Mortal Kombat since MK9, 13 years now, give or take, MK11 only ups it by 2. That's sad. Like, that's really sad, man. Right? That's why I was hoping it would be an Armageddon game. Because, you know, I think we're due, man. I think we're due 100%. Right? So that's why I left that comment. I must admit, I'm not often proud of shit. But I do kind of like this. I use it in thumbnail. It's one of those rare moments that I will go, yeah, I am happy. You know. I like that anyway. Right? See this picture here? Right, see this picture here? This is from the 90s Goro comic. Right? And he's got like a Gatling laser gun or whatever the hell that is, man. Look at the size of that thing. Now, could you imagine if they had Goro come out like that as a cameo? It's just one punch, whips this thing out, you know. Amazing. So that's why I left that comment there on Kenny's. Right? Let's see if there's any more interesting stuff. Right? Let's see if there's anything interesting. Yeah, that's that crappy Melina look. That's awful. No, no one wants that, bro. Right? I'm just trying to find all the MK stuff. No. That's some cool art. Reptile. That's pretty good, man. Right? Just trying to... hang on, what's that? Oh, there we go. That's Ashra from Deception. So... God, how useless, man. Right. Anyway, so let's... hang on, I'll turn that off. So let's scroll back up. Start from the top. Someone says, yes, I'm happy. I love the game. That's from Ivan. Realm of Wonder says, not very pleased. Avery says, hey, fate. Rick says, looks a little bit slow to me, but the cameo fighters look interesting. Glad to have fatalities, intro and outro poses, and we'll have skins to unlock. And I'm curious on what is replacing the crypt. That comment right there, right, by Rick, should be an utter effing insult. An insult. The fact that they go to those lengths, they render the characters, they give them a fatality, they give them some special moves, right? They make them part of the fatal blows. Intros, outros, all that stuff. Dude. They go to all of that effort. They go to all of that effort. Right? They got all of that effort. And they still won't make him fully playable. What a piss in the fan, man. What a piss in the fan. Bag Online says, don't mind the cameos at all, but it's weird that at least they don't have the option for 1v1 again. So this gimmick, like an infection, is permeated all the way through. It's already been confirmed that there's going to be cameo characters that'll show up in Conquest mode that will not be able to be used as cameos. Again, piss in the wind. Piss in the fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the reason why I'm telling you this stuff, is because you'll get there eventually. If you haven't already. You'll get there, you'll hate me for it now, but I'm the hero that you don't deserve. What's that line from Batman, The Dark Knight? Right? You're gonna hate what I'm saying all you like, but at the end of the day, once the nostalgia wears off and the honeymoon period, you're gonna get to these points and you're gonna wish it was different. And then the gimmick will not return, right? When they make another MK game in 1,000 years' time, because they have to do Injustice. God, imagine Anyway, right. I don't know what happened to the MK community, but when I read comments from a lot of people in the MK community, at least on Twitter, why do I feel like a sudden drop in masculinity and testosterone? Does anyone notice that? Mortal Kombat used to be metal, right? Now it's balsa wood. Ventura, great name, dude. Unhappy and disappointed. I'll have to switch to another franchise. Nonsense says, hey fellas, back on line says, congrats for the family pack. Oh, thank you, brother. Van Tizzle, the Asian artwork is good. Yes, 100%. That's why I'm wondering if Tobias was involved. But I have a feeling, like, unless there's some leak credits or whatever, I don't know. But there's obviously some conscious decision to go back to this very grounded Asian theme, which I'm very happy about. Very happy about. I started watching a TV series last night called Warrior. So good, man. There's a lot of, in it. Anyway. But the combos are slower and then a janky bloated schmuck, yeah. Nonsense says I don't really like how the intros work, reminds me of Injustice. Yeah, that's the thing. I was saying it yesterday. And a lot of people are saying it, so this is not my original thought. A lot of people are saying this. That it just reeks of Injustice. Yeah, they've taken some Injustice crap out, like the interactable backgrounds and stuff. But, and God knows what the gear system's going to be like. But at the end of the day, right, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, this is what's going to happen. Just see if there's anything else. A lot of people aren't happy with the announcer voice too. You guys notice that? People say it might be a Naga. You know what we should do? When they figure out that games can create, like gaming AI can create video games, let's just we'll just let it make Mortal Kombat. Blood, boobs, and a bloated roster. Off you go. Mortal Kombat universe. We'll get like 1,000. It'll be a Mugen game. Right? Get the cameo system. But like you, I'm a lifetime fan. I want a 1v1. I know they won't implement before launch. Yeah, it could be implemented later. Yeah, they could make it like a feature. We've heard the fans, so we decided to give you the classic 1v1 that you've had for 30 effing years! Aren't we wonderful? We gave you back a feature! It's alright, baby. My dog's looking at me like I'm crazy. Pierce Cotton says, for real, if they don't add 1v1, then that would be weird, yeah. Nest9 says, I just hate it. It looks a little slow. I don't know. Pierce Cotton. Yeah, see, look, some people are saying that, like, and it's an early build. We'll probably see later builds maybe at the Vegas show. Things might improve in terms of that regard, but I still don't think the combo system is going to change. It doesn't matter whether you speed it up or slow it down. The combo system that they have in place, I think, is going to be detrimental, and people after a while are going to go, this is MK11 again. Right? I actually like the graphics. Yeah, I'm on board with the graphics, bro. Like 100%. This feels like MK9 in the graphics department, and maybe that's where some of the, some of the nostalgia comes in. People go, oh, it's like MK9. No, it's, yeah, the aesthetic kind of is, right? Oh, dude, you got to check this shit out. Look at this. Look at this. This is Justin McCollum is an absolutely brilliant. Shout out to Justin. This is his subway render. He does like 3D type renders of like classic stages and stuff. Look at the quality of this, man. Holy shit! Get the box of tissues. That's amazing. Look at that. Awesome. So good, dude. I got so much. It's sort of, you know, it's almost at that point when you think about it that like the fans of Mortal Kombat could probably make a better game. And we see that in the Mugen community, and we see that with stuff like this. They're on the pulse of what makes MK MK, right? Not retcon combat, right? Anyway, let's continue. Travis says, people, especially veterans like myself, want a 1v1. If I want a cameo, I'd play Smash or whatever has cameos. I don't play games like that. I like 1v1s. That's what I'm saying. Why don't they just make it tag mode? They're like 75% of the way there, right? And they're gonna go, this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna, cameos are so popular. Everyone uses them in Mortal Kombat 1. Really? That's because you've baked the fucking thing into every part of the game. Of course they're gonna use it. You have to. Frosty says, is it only me and the animation feels so stiff? No, dude, it's everyone. Everyone that doesn't have rose-colored glasses on. Or the beer goggles. Either one, take your pick. Right? Everyone's seeing that. We're not blind. That's what I'm saying, man. Like we can see it for ourselves, and they're going, no, you're wrong. Tell you, man, nostalgia's a hell of a drug. Nonsense says the graphics is very good. There's some meh in the designs, but that's it. Yeah, like so far, I'm pretty happy. I mean, obviously, there's going to be alternate skins for the ninjas to have masks. We've seen that classic BMX styled face mask with the skin that shows up for Sub-Zero as a cameo. So no doubt that'll be as a main you can choose as well. Jack says, I suggest people rent the game first or take one for the team out of a group of friends. Well, okay, so the thing is though, right? I don't know how it works on consoles, but on PC, you can, like on Steam, you can refund it, right? So if you play less than 2 hours, and that less than 2 hours is under a week, you can fully refund it, right? But if you buy physical games, like I know here in EB Games, you can literally buy the game, go home, walk back in, take it, put it on the counter and say it's dog shit game, give me my money back, and they will. You've got a week to do that, right? So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool, right? So let's continue. Travis says, I have the game pre-ordered also. Yeah, I haven't got around to pre-ordering it. I'm gonna get it, don't worry, I'm gonna get it. Right? And absolutely, if you pay for something, you are 100%, I think 100% anyway, but like without an argument, you should be able to criticize it. You shouldn't be forced to use cameos, even if I end up liking cameo. You know what I want to do when I get the game? I want to beat people without using a cameo. When I used to play classic MK against people, because I used to play it all the time, you know, I used to start sort of like testing myself and go, okay, I'm not going to use block, right? Or I'm going to just use like kicks or, you know, or whatever. And I'd actually try and like gimp my own gameplay to see if I was able to work around the handicap, right? Look at Striker, look at Striker's alternate outfit, dude. That's amazing. Doesn't that look good? Nonsense in general, community seems to like the system, so it won't change much. Yeah, they'll like the system, but that could also be one of those things of like, you know, Stockholm Syndrome. Right? It's like, well, you know, I've been hanging for a new Mortal Kombat game. Do we really have to add cameos? So they're going to try and convince themselves. I'm not saying it's not going to be fun. I'm not saying it's not going to be a fun feature. It's baked in, so we're not going to have any 1v1 unless they patch it in later, right? And coupled with that, we're going to have people, all the esports clowns are going to sit there and they're going to post on Twitter and everywhere else these insane, ridiculous, easy to learn combos that people will then learn and then just use that online, right? So if Scorpion's the flavor of the week, every time you go online, you'll just be fighting Scorpion, right? They only cater to combos. Again, something else I really love, the fact that we don't have variations, right? So that's good. I actually, you know, I would not be against them going back to Armageddon style of having an unarmed and a weapon style that you can swap between. I'd be down with that. Like 100%, I'd be down with that, right? Jack says they won't re-release MK9 because they don't want to remind everyone what they can do. Yeah. Yeah, man, 100%, dude. Right? Hey, well, that's the thing. Like that's why I made the video. It's a little bit of a poke. You know what I'm like? I'd poke. But if they remastered MK9 simply just by, like, you know, a little bit of texture fidelity, remastering mostly the cinematics, adding modern day online connectability, I tell you what, man, I'd be on that every day. Every day. Right? And that's the shame, though, because it's delisted. That's a real shame. I can't remember when it got delisted. It's a while ago now, I think. But yeah. It's funny, though, isn't it? Because, like, MK10 and MK11 probably won't ever get delisted, but they did it with MK9 because of Freddy? Frosty says I too want regular 1v1. Jack says most of the content creators seem to be shilling and coping, and others are just people that want the game but don't appreciate the franchise. Nonsense said, oh, hang on. So they will make Shanghai's DLC later like they did in MK11. Yeah. Oh, they'll probably have a price on it. They could have a price on it day one. I think on the Steam page it still lists it as like single player. So it's not updated. Just like random pre-order thing doesn't fool anyone anymore. Ventura says the majority of fighting game players don't want to play 2v2 matches. It's completely outdated. They created this cameo system just to make money on cameo fighters. That's right. So that way, again, it's kind of like having a hot naked chick, but they stick it behind a plate of glass and going, well, you can lick the glass. You just can't do anything else. You could hump it, but yeah. Jack says, yeah, exactly. This was their great value Armageddon attempt. Look, as I've said previous, if they make every cameo fighter eventually playable by the end of the game's life cycle, I'll be happy. Right? I'd be happy with that. On PC, I can guarantee you there will be mods that will allow you to play as cameo fighters as main. People will figure it out. They figured it out with MK11 to be able to use Sector and Cyrax and Chronica and whatever other characters that showed up as a physical character in the game. You really think they're not going to be able to do that with a cameo fighter? Are you serious? They're going to be able to do that with a cameo fighter easily because it's a lot more realized. So we're going to have on PC, we're going to have, like, you know, a proper, we're going to have a bigger roster to muck around with. Maybe not online, right? Maybe not online, but at least offline we can. Right? By the way, if you, like, because I did this with MK9, like, I got 2 copies. So I got my MK9 that I own, obviously, through Steam. And then I just did a copy of that and I pasted elsewhere. And then I modded that pasted version. So that way, it's not interrupting with my original you know, original files, right? So if MK1 gets modded, which it will, you know, mod, you know, make sure you copy the game, copy it somewhere else, and mod the copy, so that way when you use the original and play online, you're not obviously not going to have issues. Pierce says all the women ninjas look like they had Dollar Tree outfits in MK11. Yeah, it was so horrible. Yeah, they have made them attractive again, which is nice. So, you know, somebody is paying attention. Ventura says they don't care about the fans. Yeah, well, I think they care about a certain section of fans. I think they care about esports, you know, influencer fans, which really sucks because like games will sell without influencers. So, Elbow Dragoon says it's Zombie Liu Kang. Yeah. Yeah, he's gone from zombie to like psychopath in MK1. Nonsense, another MK like Armageddon will never happen again, unfortunately. They changed the gameplay from one game to another. There is no consistency, unlike the games from the 3D era that were all similar. Yeah, that's the funny part, is that like Armageddon was kind of like it ended up being the best version of the 3D era, because they realized their mistakes after Deadly Alliance and just wanted to, like, it's a very concise, strong, straight up and down product, which they've done a great job at, right? And you're right, they do all play similar. So, you know, except obviously they added in uppercut sweeps, you know, things like that. So they did a better job in that regard. MK9 was like lightning in a bottle. And then I remember as soon as I started playing MK10, everything felt really strange. Right? Like, and that's when I think everything, for me anyway, started to go downhill. MK10's a good game, don't get me wrong. But like, I'd take MK9 any day. Jack says, it's sad that there are fans out there that accept this mediocrity and think it's such a change when it's not. No. Yeah, I know. But that's the problem. A lot of young folk, you know, and obviously no disrespect to anyone, you know, they are very up all in their feelings, nostalgia, you know, or they've been hanging out for a new MK game, and they'll just accept anything. And I'm not saying, like, listen man, buying the game isn't going to mean you're worshipping Satan here. I'm just saying, like, it's okay to be critical and to voice those criticisms. That is how developers learn what works and what doesn't, right? Our Wild Dragoon says still won't get to play Cyrex and Sector. Yeah, I know. Tampax and Sex Toy won't be available. Ventura says one interesting thing is that characters really works without cameos. I mean, although they'll be necessary to perform breakers, fatal blows and front grabs, it's possible performing regular combos. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And, you know, when you think about it, it's kind of bad because, yeah, they've put in a combo breaker and they've tied it specifically to a cameo. There is no way to break a combo without the cameo fighter. So yeah, you could, short of not wanting to break a combo, you can play the game without calling in your cameo fighter. And not using fatal blows. So you can't break combos, you can't do fatal blows, and you will never see your cameo fighter again in the entire match. Except in the beginning and the end. That's it. Jack says they will add 1v1 on its last bit of life. Yeah. Jack Spider says don't hate cameos, but they should have given us tag mode. It feels like they're going out of their way not to. Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. It's like, so if you're watching like a lot of like businesses and stuff with all woke crap, you know, and they just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and they just keep losing more and more money, and they just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. It's like, what are you doing? You're failing. Your business is falling apart. Just stop and everything will be fine. And it feels like it's kind of like this. Right? Supernova TZ says, do you reckon they will fix Goro's size before release? No. Well, I mean, they might. Sure. Other people have pointed out that the color of him is more like the movie version. Yeah, I can accept that. But he's still a midget. This is Goro. Right? Goro. Not Giri. Not some little, you know, mini Goro. Aventura says that they will sell as many cameo characters as possible and then we'll add 1v1 classic mode DLC in the last minute to make more money. Well, okay, so I've already like, that's terrible. Right? Like, unless the cameos become playable. But if they don't become playable, and they are literally selling you, like, assists, which is what they are, that's what they're doing, they're selling you assists. Right? Then that's just even more insult to injury. So, and if you will, couldn't that be termed or deemed sort of almost pay to win? If certain cameos are actually overpowered, wouldn't that be considered pay to win? So if you can't get that cameo, like if you don't buy that cameo, and that cameo clearly has an advantage, again, look how strong Shiva was and how broken she was in MK11 for like, what, a year before they finally fixed it. Jack says, it's sad on the older systems. They tried hard and packed it full. Now with new technology being far more advanced, they go for as bare minimum as possible. Yeah, it's interesting that. The better tech we have, the less we get. Ventura says, no innovation. Could be an excuse to remove 1v1 Classic. Yeah, but this is the thing. Like this, I think long term, like most people, most MK people don't give a shit about like combos. Right? Most people don't. Okay, and I mean combos is in like the esports, you know, big streamer YouTuber types. That's what I'm talking about, right? That sort of stuff. Most people don't. They just want a good MK game. You know, good selection of special moves, good story for their character, you know, good story mode maybe, perhaps, you know. Anyway, let's continue. I'll just change well. MK11 didn't need combos, pokes, throws, teleport, throw open. Yeah. Well, look, I scrap. I'm a scrapper, so I would learn a couple of small combos, I'd learn about maybe like 2 or 3 of the 3 hitters, right? And you know, obviously you had to know what your wake up attacks were because they do help. And yeah, I employed throws. I don't care. Right? If I'm going to be sit there and spam to hell and back by some clown, then I'm going to use every tool in my arsenal as a scrapper to fight back. There are no rules in a street fight. Right? That's a fact. That's the thing. Like when I used to teach martial arts and stuff, you know, and they, you know, like you're doing like different like self-defense techniques and things like that, right? But you know, like ethically in a martial art dojo or sparring, no, you're not going to headbutt or, you know, elbow and stuff. But in a real fight, you should be taught, okay, well, if you're going to headbutt, don't use your nose. Don't go, huh? You know, use this part, not up here, this part, right? Crack. You know, when you do a shoulder strike, you don't use this. You use like that. But you don't get taught that stuff. So then you are then at a disadvantage. Nonsense says PC always gets the fun stuff. Dude, get a PC, man. It's not expensive. It really isn't. You don't buy one of those pre-built crap things. There's so many websites. You need help. I can give you websites and stuff. Just get pre-built, install Windows, install Steam, download the game, off you go. Right? There's nothing stopping that. And I think I mentioned this before. There's a certain person that made a certain thing that helped negate all the grind for MK11. Right? Because it's really bad. The RNG in that is woeful. So somebody made essentially an unlocker and unlocked everything, right? Because that's what happens when companies get greedy and they turn their game into a loot box and expect you to like waste your life on like crappy cosmetics. Shao Kahn better not be a pushover, says Outworld Dragoon. Nonsense says, after what they did to Shao Kahn in MK11, it's best for him to stay out of MK1. Yeah, I know. Especially if they call him Shao. Shao how? Man, what a joke. Like, they basically, like, turned Shao Kahn into Trump. That's, you know, they did that, right? Didn't he have one line that says, let's make Outworld great again? It's like, come on, man. Really? Just, can you keep politics out of effing Mortal Kombat, please? Regardless of political beliefs? Can we just have a break? Right? No forward throws are tied to cameos. Also, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I do like, there's 2 new mechanics that they're adding in. The shove, which I do like. I like that. I really do. I think that's good. More windows, more defensive windows is always good. It's for people that, you know, you do get anxious and worried about playing online. It's better to know how to defend yourself than attack. Right? If you don't know how to defend yourself, you're screwed. But if you know how to defend yourself, but you only got 2 attacks, you're better off. Right? So I like the shove, and I like the up block. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. J Spider says Goro is canonically 8'2", if I recall. Crow Templar says your source are not reliable, therefore we do not tolerate your presence. Okay. There is no source. Travis says I think Goro will be playable later. He has new armor and a look. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up playable later. If a cameo character can have an interchangeable outfit, costume, then I say see no reason whatsoever that they could not be playable. Right? Outlaw says MK11 throws. Oh, excuse me. If you throw me, and I do a counter throw, I still take damage. In the OG throw, I didn't take any damage. Yeah, the one thing I wished in MK9 was that throws were easier to counter, but they weren't. They were really bizarre. It was a really bizarre counter for throw cancelling and that. Oh, sorry, for throw countering. Nonsense says Goro is only loved by fans because in the law the poor guy only gets disrespect. Yeah. The Crow Templar, we do not fully trust anything what you're delivering. We apologize for our presence in retro. Are you aware of who the wave report is? No. Travis. Oh yeah. Travis Nave wrong. Forward throws the title camera. The bigger problem is NRS selling us bullshit game and killing us. The wave report. Hang on. I gotta take this call. Hang on. You can see my lips move, but you won't hear me. Not picking up. Okay. The wave report. You got those really awesome thumbnails. Are they a little bit clickbaity? Are they a little bit clickbaity? Pretty sure cameos will have costumes for all the reasons. It's just tag team. Crow Template says, though we understand your concern of MK1 at the rave report, we still don't trust you at all. Trust the facts. He says, I'm going live in 15 minutes. If you want to have a real conversation, no bullshit leaks. Look, I mean, look, right now, like, the thing is, though, that we don't know, like, we don't know 100%. Like I've been covering certain leaks for, like, what, a couple of years now. Some of these leaks have ended up being true. The good news is, though, is that we only have 3 months left. So that is a saving grace, that we only have 3 months left to find out, you know, everything. And we will know everything. We'll know the full rosters before the game comes out. Maybe the cameos, they might leave the cameos. They might actually leave, like, if you've got to unlock cameos in the story mode, then they might actually not tell us, right? They might go, oh, you got 8 at launch and you got to unlock the other 8. Right? As far as I know, Ford throws a tidy cameo. Correct time we look forward to videos. You once made a video and wave report. Yeah, I did. Because the thing is though that like the thing is though like it's if you okay, right. So if the wave report is still here, right? If you're going to cover a leak, don't just say it. Right? Put something on screen. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody if you've read it, just do a screenshot, bro, and stick it on your video. Because then people will see it. Tell them where you found it. That's it. Right? That's all you got to do. I'm not saying that like you know, some people can say this leak is true. There's people on Twitter that say, oh yeah, you know, this is happening, and then a lot of the time that stuff ends up being true. But unfortunately, right? You know, people also can be misled. So if any of the leaks that I have come out and end up not being true, that's cool. I don't care. I don't give a shit, right? But at least I can show you guys, look, this is what I found. You can see it for yourself. What do you think? Right? Allo Drinker says, I wonder if they are going to strike as content creators for the blood and gore in MK1. I don't know. Thanks for coming in, Wave. I appreciate that, man. I do. Gotta go. Get ready for my drop by and go on mic. Keep up the great work. How am I going to get on the mic, bro? I don't even know where you are. Are you talking like voice call? I don't know why I did that. Oh, I'll jump in a chat. Yeah, I'll jump in a chat, man. Hang on one sec. Sorry about that. Oh shit. Oh god, I'll have to play another fighting franchise. Wouldn't sure. Well, look. Okay, so I want to express this as clearly as possible. Okay, just because a new MK game isn't up to snuff doesn't mean to say that you can't enjoy the previous games or whichever ones you did. All right. If you're on PC, you have access to every single Mortal Kombat game ever created. Okay? So if you've got a PC, You can play Mortal Kombat games dating all the way back to the Sega Master System and Game Gear. Okay, so that doesn't have to stop. Not to mention, there's Mugen Mortal Kombat games. There's, of course, all other manner of fighting games. That's what I'm trying to do on Fate, is create, you know, this archive of fighting games for you guys to check out. So that way, you know, you realize that there's a lot more out there than just the mainstays of Tekkens and Street Fighters and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So, Aldrin, so I'm 75% in this new one, to be honest. I have my reserves, but so far it's looking good. It looks good, but the two things that bug me is the engine and the cameos, and I think those two are eventually going to, I think they're eventually going to splinter a lot of people off. Travis says, yeah, I'm tired of YouTube censorship. I use BitChute for news. I only use YouTube. BitChute and Rumble are really good for news, actually. I only use YouTube for video games and workout videos. I'm thinking of making a Rumble because all the podcast people I like are moving. Yeah. Yeah, YouTube is just going to have to, like, you know, they're going to have to realize that they just need to lift this censorship crap. You know, because the good thing with a lot with what we're seeing at the moment, a lot of boycotting and stuff, is that people are tired of censorship. They're tired of politics being shoved in their face, and if you say the wrong thing, you lose your income or you lose your live stream or whatever. You know, like, it, you know, if they want to remain relevant and revered, then YouTube need to go back to the early days of YouTube and just let people do whatever, right? Landed Rodriguez, how you going, mate? Did you ever play Special Forces? You know what? I never actually played much of Special Forces, to be honest. But I did play through Mythologies and I loved it. You know, you want to talk about janky controls? Holy shit. The controls in Mythologies is probably the worst of any MK game ever created. But I still persevered because it's so good. It's so Mortal Kombat, right? The music, the backgrounds, the story, it's really good. Because when you first heard about it, it's like, Sub-Zero, really? And it worked, man. Like, it, you know, it really, really worked. Let's get some Reiko up in this shit, right? How you going, Alex? Do you think MK1 will be as successful as MK11? Well, that's the thing. It may sell more. Like, MK11 sold a lot. That doesn't mean to say it's successful. What it means is that it sold a lot. That's like saying that, well, Justin Bieber must be awesome to everyone because he sells millions of records. It's like, no, that's not how it works, right? And I think that the cameo system, especially leaning into the huge nostalgia of it, will start to really affect people. I think it'll start to chill on the bone a bit after a while. Not to say that we're not going to play it. I'm going to play it. I'll probably main Scorpion again because he's got his harpoon back to normal, thankfully. And maybe if Havoc and Reiko are in there, definitely. Right? That'll be so much fun. So, and Cabal, if they put Cabal in, but God, there hasn't even been a mention of Cabal, I don't think. Phantom says, I love they bring back character unlocks like back in Deadly Alliance and Deception, where you had to unlock half the roster by playing the game. But you know it won't happen with esport. Look, I'm in two minds about that, man. On one hand, I do like having the full roster available and maybe spending time unlocking the costumes. But then on the other side, yeah. But that's the thing though, like esports and influencer is too much. Like, these companies think that their games aren't going to sell if they don't pander to a tiny demographic, and that's simply not true. Jay Spire, is MK Project revitalized too? Any good? Yes. It is. Very good, very solid, great roster. So, and it's free! And you don't have a cameo system. Phantom Realm says esports has ruined the fun aspect of the game. Yeah, that's because, okay. So it's not like I'm crap at playing Mortal Kombat. I know how to play Mortal Kombat. I may not be top tier, but I know how to fight, know how to defend, know how to attack, right? I know how to play. I know how to scrap. And that scrap mentality I apply to every fighting game, right? But I like to know that like my character has all the tools. I want to know that I have good defensive tools as well as good offensive tools. I want to know that, right? I don't want it just one way. And the reason why I have to suffer this, like, the bloody game is because, you know, look at this weird uppercut by Reiko. It's like this up diagonal, like, palm, like, double palm push. Hang on, I'll see if I can get him. Hang on, I'll see if I can, hang on. Over there, come on. See ya. Need to bring back death traps. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, their imagination is going down the toilet. Right? That stuff is fun. Being able to kill your opponent, you know, like, even when they've got, like, so much health left, is awesome. What's his special moves again? What do we got? Hang on. Okay, yep, right. I love that shuriken move. I love that, man. That's so good. Ventura says, I bought my PlayStation 5 just because of the new Mortal Kombat, and then my hype turned into the biggest disappointment I have of the franchise. Well, there'll be other games to play, and look, you might enjoy it, man. Right? You might enjoy it. It's not like it's not like there won't be other games that you can play on there. I'm assuming Mortal Kombat 10 is backwards compatible. So, oh look, it's Su Hao, who ended up just being a portrait in the background. I'm scared of what the nonsense. I'm scared of what to do with Havoc because NRS has a history of doing crazy retcons. Sindel, for example. That's the one thing I hate as well. See, I have to wonder, like, again, with the influencer types and the streamers and all that sort of stuff, do they actually give a shit about story? Do they actually care about the actual character storylines and stuff like that? I have a feeling they don't really. And that's probably why they don't care. See, for me, Mortal Kombat isn't just characters. It's gameplay. It's backgrounds. It's story development, it's features, like it's everything, right? You look at Street Fighter 6, right? Literally amazing in terms of, like, you know, whether you're a fan of it or not, amazing, right? Really immersive story mode. I'm not a big fan of the small roster though, right? And like, I'm more Mortal Kombat than Street Fighter, so like some of the characters I look at and go, man, this, like, I really see no interest here, like, at all. So, what's it got a crash? Been fun. See you, dude. Thanks for dropping by, man. J-Spot says, MK1 seems to be all about aggressive play since breakers cost all your resources. Yeah, I know. And then I had someone complain to me going, oh, it'd be awful if it was just one bar. How the hell is it awful? The compensation for that would be 3 bars, but your cameo character still exists, versus 1 bar, and every time you do it, your cameo fighter gets knocked out for a little bit. That's a good middle ground. But again, you know, they bring back breakers, they go, oh, we brought it back, but then they don't tell you how expensive it is straight away until we figure it out. Leonard says, I wish those fighting stances would come back, those poses they stand in super martial arts are good. Yeah, cool. Well, you know, they want to see, this is the bullshit too they keep going on about. Oh, we have freedom and player expression. How, what part of MK1 is player expression? Is it? How? Can somebody explain that to me? Oh, because you can jump in the fucking air and do an air combo? Oh, because you can just go crazy with combos? Well, that sounds like only one part of expression here. Right? I used to like MK story, now I put gameplay in first place. Yeah, because that's the sad part, is that the story used to be really intriguing. You'd want to choose a character and know how their story played out. And you get to the end of it and go, wow, that was amazing. Now, there's anxiety. Because now when you finish the game, you go, oh, is this character going to be retconned? You know. I hated that they retconned Cabal. I love the fact that Cabal, like, worked with Striker, and then he got deformed and stuff and things like that, you know. Nonsense says, it seems the writers have no restrictions and can do whatever they want with the characters. Yeah, I know. Why do you think you guys, I say that ever since Tobias left, we have lost quality. Now, the 3D era wasn't too bad, but then we have a whole different MK team now than we did back then too. Crow says, we won't have much say in MK1. There's something only the operator would know, and we believe we're familiar with the person who know him for so long. Who? We don't have much say on MK1. That's something only the operator would know. We believe you're familiar with the person. Me? Shit, I don't know anyone in the MK team. They wouldn't want to know me. What'd you do to Raiden Goro, bro? That'd be my first question. The only thing we can say, the story itself is just heavily underwhelming. Well, look, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, look, if it's done in a Conquest style, that'll be fun. At least that will be fun. Running around in a nice open world of Edenia or Outworld or Earth or whatever, that'll be fun. Hopefully there'll be a lot of secrets. No doubt they will bake events into that, like they did with the Crypt, where you'll have, you know, events that will go, oh, this week you can jump in and try and find the elusive Ermac or some shit, you know. Phantom says they really need to focus on the world building, and because they're going back to square one, it's technically not a retcon, it's a retelling. Well, that's the thing though, like, so, like, it's all up in confusion here. They go, oh, it's a retelling, so it's brand new, yet Fire God Liu Kang exists and recreated this, so it's kind of like a half, it's like a half-half, right? It's a half-half. So, yeah, it's just, the main problem I have is you're going to have clowns who are going to go, like they do with Sindel, and go, this is Sindel's story now. She's an evil witch. And that's the way it is. No, it's not. Just because you change something doesn't mean to say that somehow everything else doesn't matter anymore. Right? That's what I hate. Like J.K. Rowling did that years ago with Harry Potter. She would retcon shit on Twitter and go, oh yeah, by the way, this person's this person's that, or whatever. It's like, what are you doing? You can't do that. You might be the creator, but you can't come back and retcon stuff just because it's problematic. Focus on world building, yeah, 100% agree. I hate that what they did to Sindel. Yep, dominant strategy will win out, meaning people will only pick the most broken cameos. That's right. That's what's going to happen. And then cameos, I'm going to do a video on it. Cameos will be pay to win. Let me just... Cameos will be pay to win. Yes. Because they'll release a cameo in a DLC pack that other people won't buy. Because, you know, for a variety of reasons, not to mention things are expensive in general anyway. So then they'll get online, and because there won't be any restriction that you'll be able to play against people that have cameo fighters that you don't, and they'll be broken, and it will take them forever to patch stuff. Yeah. Problem started in MK9. They started to put characters that shouldn't have been there, like Quan Chi, for example. Well, I mean, I do love Quan Chi in MK9 though. But see, they put MK. Okay, so just to, on the bald defense of Quan Chi, he makes sense in that timeline because of what he did to Scorpion and Sub-Zero. So it actually fits. His presence in MK9 actually does make sense because of the deep corruption and manipulation of Sub-Zero and Scorpion. So I don't mind that. Plus he's funny when he's beating the shit out of someone with their leg in a fatality. So I wish Harakiri's came back. That'd be kind of cool. But they probably won't do that because they'll be like, we're promoting suicide, you know, we're promoting people wanting to take their own life. Yes, and yet Canada put out ads literally promoting that. Are you depressed? Short of funds? How about you just kill yourself? Harakiri, the future of your life. I mean, you know, right? Literal clown world, dude. Do you enjoy any other entertainment, comics, or other games? I don't read comics, but I love watching movies, TV, anime. Love it. I love watching a lot of older stuff, you know, that I grew up with as well, and showing that to my son. Especially now, because my son's 18, so there's a few older movies that I can start cracking out, like Total Recall, like, or pretty much anything from like the 80s, 90s era of either Van Damme, Schwarzenegger, some of those like earlier like 90s Nick Cage movies like Face Off, Con Air, The Rock, and I have to introduce him to Starship Troopers, because there's a new Starship Troopers game that just came out. And yeah, I remember seeing Starship Troopers in the cinema and I was like, whoa! That was crazy. There's titties and violence and everything, you know. So yeah, no, I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to like gaming. I can pretty much play anything. But yeah, I never really got big into reading comics, but I did get the MK comics in the 90s. So they're in like a folder over there. So my prized possession, I was actually very happy to be able to procure all of those, which was great. So Phantom says Fire God Liu Kang is definitely a cop out because they messed up the story and dug themselves in a hole and didn't know how to fix it. Yeah, I've got a thumbnail I'll be doing, titled Liu Kang Will Be Evil. There was a picture that was shared by MK. It says fatality is a law, not a punishment. So some people are saying, oh, that sounds like Hotaru, which that's true. Tell you what, man, in this day and age, we need some fucking Hotaru. Right? We need some Hotaru up in this shit! Right? That's what we need. None of this Midland soft crap. Just straight down the line. You know, that's what we need. But yeah, I can't stand this Liu Kang. He's been an arrogant shitbag for like a while now. I actually preferred him in MK9 and before that. Like, you know, where he was sort of like still unsure of himself and there was a lot of weight on his shoulders because of it. Yeah. As soon as he got some of that katana pussy, he's like, oh yeah, man, I can do anything. That's true, man. I mean, you know, like, who can argue with that? Right? Even if she is 10,000 years musty. Ed Boone said that there can be 2 Sub-Zero in a match. That sounds broken. Yeah, no, so that's the thing, though. You can actually choose, like, if a main character is also a cameo character, yeah, you can have Sub-Zero, Sub-Zero. I'm not impressed with big combos. I don't get hard over that shit. I don't care. It literally does nothing for me. I know some people, oh my god, it's a 50% combo. It's like, yeah, so? Who cares? They probably spent like 3 days in the training area. Or what do the kids call it now? Labbing. They were labbing. Who cares, man? Right? In a real fight, none of that shit works. I learnt that from doing real martial arts. You know, all the stuff, like, I don't know if you guys ever done martial arts, so I did Taekwondo Hapkido, right? Right, and I used to teach it. And so you used to do these, like, sort of, like, defense training drills where, like, you'd start in, like, a back stance, you step forward and do a punch, right? And you'd hold that position. Your opponent, right, would work out a sequence. So they'd be like, okay, side block, punch, you know, and they do all of these things while the guy's just standing there. And it looks impressive. Sure, it looks very impressive. Bloody useless in a real fight. Right? Because there is no freeze. Oh my god! Anyway. Monster says, don't like him in MK9 because he steals Shang Tsung's role in the story. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like... Hang on, was Quan Chi Shang's mentor? There wasn't, was it? I know, this is how old I am. Master of the Universe, in case anyone doesn't know, Hordak, which only appeared in the She-Ra TV series, was actually the mentor of Skeletor. So, what I would love to see, not that I'll ever do, right? I would love to see origin stories for Shang Tsung, Quan Chi. I want to see these people turn evil. I want to see what caused them to go down this road of becoming these things. Like, nobody is born evil. So I'd love to know, like, what the actual, like, what was the creative story for these characters? Quan Chi was listed as DLC apparently. Oh, okay. I think Quan Chi will make sense in this timeline. Also, Boone said in an interview something about Liu Kang saying something about seeing those two team up. Instantly thought of Shang. So they're gonna dig up the corpse of Deadly Alliance. Is that what they're gonna do? Is that what they're saying? You know what? Okay, it's starting to make sense now. If that's the case, MK1 will be like Deception 2.1 as well. We've got a couple of point something now. Appear in the story, not be playable. Flavio says Mortal Kombat should be faster. When you have a game where 90% of the characters use projectiles, 40% some kind of teleport, the game needs to be fast. Yeah, I know. Now this is gonna be a terrible thing to say in this day and age, right? You can cancel me over this. I really do prefer when Mortal Kombat was more focused on special moves and singular attacks than combos. Now, I can forgive the combo system in the MK3 era series because it was restricted. You couldn't start your combo unless you were physically touching them. There was no high or low. If you blocked the combo, you blocked the combo. And all you did was get chip damage. That's it. And then in the 3D era, right? I don't know, were there highs and lows in the 3D era in the combo? Or could you just block? I think you could just block everything too, right? But in MK9, they made it so that, especially like Liu Kang and Kungers, you could go high and low. And it's like, oh, Jesus, really? Now we have to learn Tekken strategy? And they never gave it up. And that's what I can't stand about it too. Mortal Kombat should, Jace Spice says, Quan Chi will always be a rip-off of Shang, honestly. Quan used to be my favourite, the NK story, yeah. Well, see, Quan Chi isn't a soul stealer, is he? He's just like he's a sorcerer, but he's not like Shang Tsung is literally like starved of titties, right? Like he always wants that titty. I don't think Quan Chi's like that. Quan Chi is a see, Shang Tsung I don't see as a, how do I describe this? Shang Tsung is like, okay, Quan Chi is more of a manipulator to a bigger goal than Shang Tsung is. Does that make sense? Like Shang Tsung's like, yeah, I'll take your soul and stuff, and you know, yeah, I just want to be the bad guy. But I don't think he was as the manipulator as Quan Chi. I think Quan Chi is definitely more working behind the scenes, you know, manipulating this, manipulating that, because he could see down the road what was going to happen. That's like, I see them as, that's how I see them anyway, right? Whereas Shang Tsung is the more traditional bad guy. You get what you pay for, you know, which is kind of good. Like, he can manipulate people in terms of like how he looks, like, you know, obviously the shapeshifting. And obviously Quan Chi can do that too, so maybe it's a staple of Mortal Kombat characters to be able to shapeshift. I'll see. I want to try this combo. Yeah, man. Whee! Alright. Right, what was it? Did he have another special move? Oh, that's right. Yeah, here we go. Hang on. I love that move where, like, when he does the headbutt, Shao Kahn's helmet. Woo! Ray says I'm not happy so far. Can you tell me why you're not happy, man? I'm just curious. Yeah. Hey! Jay says, well, Khan was his own man in the original timeline, and MK10 turned him into a pathetic jobber. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. You know what? If they're willing to change crap, I'm perfectly willing to accept what I believe as far as what we know in the story. Right? I don't give a shit. I believe, you know, Quan Chi was always a servant of Shinnok ever since mythologies. Yeah, and that's true. The same way that Shang is a servant of Shao Kahn. Yeah. But I think they really did sort of, yeah. Oh, look at this. I can change stances. I don't need to press a button for it. There we go. Pierce says, I used to think Shinnok was cool, but then NetherRealm made him look so goofy. Yeah. So, I think I said this last time. I didn't like Shinnok being a playable character in MK4 because up until that point, forgetting Trilogy, we never had access to a sub-boss or a boss playable in MK. So it took a lot of the mysticism out of, you know, what he was capable of, right? Now, what's his throw again? Hey! Dude, how badass is that throw? What's this throw by Reiko? Check this out. Stop hitting me. Stop it. That's so cool. What? Quan Chi was always plotting against Shinnok in the original timeline. That's how Shinnok ended up with a fake amulet. That's true. Yep. Tell you what, man. You reckon they'll bring Shinnok back? Not Shinnok. Shujinko. That's the one thing I loved about Deception's Conquest mode too. We didn't just play through a story in real time. We played through a story with a very young character that eventually became old. Shinnok in MK10 also looks like Shang with his variations. Yeah, I know. Toki, how you going, man? Welcome one, better fix Sindel. If NetherRealm Studios want to appease both Sindel retcon haters and lovers, then they should make Sindel a complex character who juggles both good and bad personas. Yeah. Again, like, you know, it's sort of... It's this, you know, it's this attack on family crap. Maybe. Right? Like, Sindel was brainwashed, as was Kitana, by Shao Kahn. And then, you know, they find out that that was true and, you know, blah, 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 and that was awesome. And then they just turned to a power-hungry gold digger. It's like, you know... Anyway. Only thing I'm really upset with is being forced to use cameos, yeah. I like the variation system gone. Yep. Everyone's special moves so far look good. Yep. Yeah, they've reduced it back down to just, yeah, forgetting that variations crap, so that's good. I just want 1v1s. I think the cameo system will get old. Yeah. I think, like... Yeah, I think, you know, like, yeah, it's an extra, like, what, 4 specials that your character will have. So I'd say that every character's gonna, you know, every character's gonna be pretty well stacked. So I think Sub-Zero's got his ground freeze back, doesn't he? Because he's kind of got like that freeze that kind of slows him or holds him in place. If they make a boss, Phantom Realm said to make a boss playable, they have to dumb down the boss. I used to love the bosses cheap and super difficult. Yeah. Although the armor system in MK9 was crap. Like that was crap. It was, you know. Jay says, I doubt the story will be any good since it's being developed by the same genius who gave us Chronica. Yeah, Chronic Itch, I call her. Who thought it was a good idea turning a main boss character into a twink? Like, there's nothing threatening, right, about this emaciated, bald, whatever it was. Nonsense. I find it funny that the community complains about Shujinko is an idiot in Conquest, when in the context of the story it makes perfect sense for him to act that way. Yeah, I know. Like, that's what I mean. Like, remember the Deception intro? So good. You know? I loved it because he got conned. Right? He got conned and he wants to make it right. And it's sad because it was his whole life. Do you know what I mean? Hang on. Can I not do that? Okay, fine, whatever. So Sindel was a tragic story which made her character so much more sympathetic. I hated what... Yeah, I know. I know. Don't like Kotal Khan. I don't like him. Oh, look, mocap. Yeah, don't like Kotal Khan. He's a gimp. You know, I don't like... I'm not a big fan of Aztec stuff. In general. So... What combos has this clown got? What do we got? Bum. Oh yeah, okay. Alright, that's easy enough. Right. Oh, that's cool. Trevor says, yeah, but you have to enhance it. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, Sub-Zero has a ground freeze, ice ball, ice clone, you ice punch and ice kick. So it looks good. Yeah, no, he looks solid, man. Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. That's what I mean. Like, you know, I love as a challenge, as a scrapper. I like beating people with knowing what my character's special moves are, a couple of small combos, and that's it. You know. Not to mention he was like 13 when Damashi first appeared. Yeah. I used to look, you know, run around and like punch people in Deception. Do you ever do that? Not the bosses, just some old lady and shit. Nona said you also have been a great character to use the variation system on, as he can mimic other fighters' specials. Yeah. Well, doesn't Shang Tsung because Shang Tsung can... I liked in MK9 that Shang Tsung's sort of, you know, his... I guess it was kind of like the middle ground of him being able to, like, morph into any character was that he could, like... His ability was to, you know, copy your character, like their character, and turn into them. So I didn't mind that. NRS could better cough up sensible canon reasons Sindel was resurrected with an evil personality in MK11. Yeah, but they won't. Better Kodal and Jay being like, I don't care if they're like, I don't care if they're banging. Right? It's just that like all the females looked like really masculine in the face in MK11. So it was really gross. Shiva looked like LL Cool J, you know? So I'm glad that they've made him attractive. I don't care if they're banging each other. Like, that doesn't bother me, right? But, you know, it would have been interesting to, like... You know what would have been funny? Here's a storyline for you, right? That, you know, Sindel, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Sindel's always brainwashed, right? So we're not going with that whole gold digging, power hungry crap that they changed her into, right? So, okay. So imagine Shao Kahn actually had, like, you know, he had like some empress or something, like, or some queen from some other realm that was actually like more psychotic and crazy than him. And the and the real story, this would be a better storyline. And the reason why he invades worlds isn't because he's actually evil. He's trying to escape his psychotic ex. That'd be funny. Flavio says, do you think the realism of the character's body in MK makes them kind of boring? Like, I prefer muscular characters than some normal guy doing cosplay. Well, that's the thing. Like, so I say this, MK9 was kind of lightning in a bottle. If you compare MK9's overall art style, it's beautiful, and it really, despite the age of it, it actually always looks really good because it's done in such a design way to do that. If you look at MK10 now, because they went with the ultra realistic look of the characters, you know, with like realistic looking faces versus in MK9, they look like dog shit now. In the cutscenes and stuff, they look awful. And that's the problem with those sort of like hyper realistic looking graphics. That's why in, like, say, like Dead or Alive games and stuff like that, you can play Dead or Alive from the PlayStation 1, and you can play Dead or Alive from now, like modern day, and the chicks still look attractive because they were designed with a fair to see aesthetic versus a realistic aesthetic, right? Hey Christian, how you going, man? Phantom Relso, I'm so glad Subby looks epic. It's always my favorite. I was using Subby, yesterday or the day before in MK11. Because, you know, just because we've seen a lot of Sub-Zero stuff, so I just wanted to load him up. And, oh, man, just the clunkiness of the game. Because it is injustice, isn't it? Let's be honest. It is injustice. You know? Christian says it's more darker. Yes. So, but the thing is, so I don't know, are you talking about story tone or in general? Yeah, the game itself is actually quite dark, visually. In story tone, MK9 was pretty dark, dude. And this shit was real dark. I mentioned yesterday, Jax getting his arms torn off by Ermac still shocks me. Like, that is still shocking to this day. Pierce says, what's your thought on new characters, Garrus? Garrus is shit. And broken. Cetrion, again, like, if they made her look more feminine, I probably would have been more on board with it, but she doesn't. The only new character that I actually like that fits Mortal Kombat, maybe 2 here, maybe 3. In MK11, the only character that I like that's new is the Collector, because that makes sense. That actually fits Mortal Kombat lore. Now, I'm going to piss some people off here. Aaron Black does not fit in Mortal Kombat. The fucking cowboy? Are you serious? It just doesn't fit. I don't like... Okay, so, alright, here we go. I don't like guns in Mortal Kombat. In combat, like actually fighting. Don't like it. I never liked it. Right? I never did. And while Striker's gun move that they brought in, I think in Ultimate or Trilogy, is cool, it's a special move. Like it's like a fireball, you know, and it's got like a good delay on it. It's easily able to be avoided, and it's an entire special move, right? And it kind of doesn't feel as out of place. But then when Jax had his like full machine gun mode, that's when things started to like fall off. Face don't look that much better in MK1. No, I don't think there's a huge difference in terms of like visual clarity between MK11 and MK1. I think it's pretty much the same. They've just scaled back on and changed the aesthetic, which does look better. You know, I think the detail is still there between the same, like the two games. It's just, yeah, I'm missing a bit. Hang on a sec. Toko says there is one way to appease with the Senate. Jared forced Sindel to kill him right before Shao Kahn came on it to have Sindel earn the villain's favor for the sake of identities. Yeah, that'd be tragic as shit, man. I'd love to see King Jared. Wouldn't that be cool? To have King Jared as a character? Combos and pass games are nonsense. Combos and pass games were fast but very punishing, especially in the 3D era with death traps. Yeah, you combo someone then knock them to the death trap. That's like a that's like double humiliation. Christian says Sub-Zero is my first fighter picked in around MK2. Yeah. I like Subby's always been, like Scorpion's always been my fave. And every character always has a special move that I love. So while Subby's freeze was always like it's cool, I always loved his ground ice. And the reason why I loved it is because people that turtle block, you could just walk up and ground ice and they'd be like, right? That's what I loved about it. I love that move because it forced someone out of their block and you can mess with them. Jay says the faces. Yeah. Since Sindel spun the story that Shao Kahn killed Jarek. Yeah. And then he says from then on, Sindel juggled between her true good persona and her fake evil persona, filling her self-loathing while Sindel used her charm. Yeah, that'd be a much better story. And you know what? That'd be kind of cool. If, maybe Sindel shows up and we do find out that, yeah, she was playing possum this whole time. Yeah. It's a good story. That would work. And then Sindel fans are redeemed. Nonsense says Mummy Cetrion. Yeah, look, her special moves aren't bad, but the face, dude. Like, the face is an MK11 for the women. What'd they do? Did they get Ed Boon to, do the motion? They're just too angular and, there's no softness, really. But then you go, but Katana. Yeah, Katana looks like a teenager. Katana doesn't look like a teenager in MK1. And she certainly does not look like that in MK9. So, Travis, yeah, no, I like that story, Toku. I do, 100%, man. Travis says, I like the modern look and classic look, but Johnny doesn't look like Johnny. You know what I wish they get right? Okay, so... I actually don't mind. I actually don't mind how Johnny looks in MK1. In a way, it's like a movie hybrid. He's got that very square jaw, very Hollywood martial art type. Yeah, I actually don't mind him. And what I like too is his voice. He's got this. It reminds me of old school actors, like male actors from the 50s and stuff. Very, yeah, I can't. I actually like it. I do like it. I thought he was getting a bit stupid in these recent games, so I don't mind Johnny in this one. I guess we've only seen a little bit. So I guess we'll see. Monsters as in Deception, I don't think there were any characters that used firearms. I think Jax did. Yeah, I think... Was Jax in it? Yeah, I think Jax did. Yeah, because he had his machine. Was Jax in MK Deception? I can't remember. I call it MK 11.2. Yeah, it pretty much is. I like MK1 because cameos give so many characters that won't return as playable characters a chance to return. They'll get their own fatal blows. Yeah, but to me that's not enough, dude. I know what you're saying, and look, again, people will enjoy it, whatever, do what you want. But I think over time, people are going to be like, look, you've rendered this character. This character is literally animated to be part of these intricate things like fatalities, fatal blows, throws, special moves, right? I think eventually people are going to be like, look, was it really that much harder after 4 effing years to simply just make these characters playable? You can still have the cameo system, and in the cameo system, they're restricted. That is the compromise. And we can prove that Because there are going to be main roster characters that are going to be cameo characters. Those cameo versions of, say, Sub-Zero are going to be restricted. So they can do it. And that just makes it even more insulting. Chronica is the worst boss. Yeah, I know. I didn't even remember Dark Khan. Yeah, true. I still think Khan is evading his ex-wife. That's why he's invading worlds. Right. Chase West says NK9 Katana will always be best Katana. Yeah. She had a very regal presence in that costume, of course. Phantom Realm. I think Johnny looks like a young Luke Wilson. He sounds like him. Yeah. Yeah. I actually don't mind him. I know it sounds weird. I really like the voice and I really like how he looks. So yeah, I'm actually on board with Cage in this one. I'm not too fussed. Toki says, if you like my story, feel free to pass it on to other people. Buy Mortal Kombat. I don't know anyone in Mortal Kombat. I don't know anyone at the MK team. I know some people that have actually like talked to people in the Mortal Kombat, like NetherRealm team or whatever. I don't know any of them. And they probably don't want to. But that's okay. I am just a customer. That's all I am. I'm no different. I'm just a customer. If they haven't Fire God Liu Kang, better reference the better Sindel Stories explanation for the non-controversial behavior. Yeah. D-Rock, hey, go, man. Chronic as it really was. Yeah, this is awful, man. Fucking twink. Like, seriously, what was threatening about her? Don't like Garrett. Going back to that, yeah, don't like Garrus. Don't like Setri on his characters. It just felt off. They felt soulless, actually. Right? They felt soulless. And if they wanted, like, you know, because I know NetherRealm's a little bit wokey. If they want representation in there, for God's sakes, get Darius back. Right? Kai. They're far better characters. That's the one thing I loved about Deception 2, is that the cast of characters were also very reflective of the realms that they came from. And so that was very cool. Like Hotaru. Like, he's just like, nah. Like Hotaru is Judge Dredd, right? He is the Judge Dredd of Mortal Kombat. There is no nuance with Hotaru. And that's really cool from the Order Realm. CJ Rocky says, does it bother you that ninjas in MK1 don't even flip when they jump? Where has the martial arts element? Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's true, actually. They don't do any of that sort of, that flippy stuff. I mean, granted, they all used to somersault. Like what? Like he's somersaulting here, right? That is true, man. Wow, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of that. Shit. What's his, oh, there we go. Alright. Alright, so, okay, so let's talk about breakers just for a second. See how there's like 3 lightning bolts per character? Right? Mocap just did a breaker on me, so he's lost one. There's no restriction. There's no taking away from nothing. Just, okay, you've got 3 breakers. And that's it. Anyway, that's what you get for breaking my combo. Right, so developers should listen to critics like yourself. Nah, well, look, man, I'm just a dude, right? Like, you know, I'm just an MK fan, okay? Right, but like, because everyone's gonna have a different opinion on what they feel about stuff, right? So what I think might be good, someone else might think is bad. But the problem is, though, the thing is, though, they don't really need my input. What they need is to look at their history and go, okay, this is what we've made. We've already laid the foundation. We don't need to do anything radical, right? I'm not saying anything different. I'm just saying this is the history, right? Look at your previous games. Look at the previous stories. It's not difficult. Just do slight, you know what I mean? Like, anyway. I think the MK Shaolin Monks and MK9 has the best design. 100%, dude. Flavio. Fucking 100%, man. Okay, you remaster those two games, combo pack, online play, it's all over. All over. Oh, speaking of Hotaru, I just wish he had more special moves in this game. Right. Really? Let's see if I can knock him into the bell. Dude, and the thing is though, like, cause like online play with MK Shaolin Monks, you could play together, co-op, or versus mode. And you know what? How many characters do you have in Shaolin Monks PvP? What, 8? I think it was. You had Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Kung Lao. What was it? 6? No. You had Reptile. Who else do we have in Shaolin Monks? Somebody help me out. I'm in a brain fart. I think they should bring Devora back to kill her off. Look, okay. So, if they decide to make an Armageddon type game again, I don't care if some of these rubbish characters are in there, right? Because I'm fine with that. But when a rubbish character or a guest character takes up an excellent character, like say Smoke, or Reptile, or Ermac, right? Then I have a problem. MK9 with the run and updated graphics. Yeah. That'd be cool, right? They're literally sitting on a gold mine. But, you know. God, there's such a nice delay on that. Oh. That was close. Derox says, I actually thought Hotaru was cool. Unique character. I don't know why he wasn't more popular. Yeah, okay, so let's, is there a training mode in this? I can't remember. I don't think there was it? Reptile, Johnny Cage, Barak, and a few more that I don't remember. Oh, there is a practice mode. Okay, cool. We're labbing, guys. We're labbing. Right, okay, here we go. Right, Hotaru. From the Order Realm. Who can he beat up? Well, let's get someone hot in there. Lee May. I don't high for anything anymore, J Spider says. But if they remake Shaolin Monks, I'd lose. Oh yeah, 100%. Did you like MK4 Gold on Dreamcast? Yes. Yeah. See, MK4 Gold was, to me, ultimate MK3 to MK3. Like, MK3 was solid, but you could really feel a loss of key characters. And then, so when they brought out Ultimate MK3, I remember seeing Ultimate MK3 in the arcade for the first time. I remember walking in, I think it was, because there was like 2 entrances you could go in. I think I walked in, I think it was down the back on the right. And I remember looking at it going, my God, this is amazing. Right, what's his special moves again? Hang on. Oh, there we go. His pop-up. And then he had his kick. Hang on, what's his kick? Yeah, like Devora fits, but her voice is like getting a blowjob with teeth out. Right? I wouldn't mind if they made it a little bit more sexy, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, what's his special move? There we go. Hang on. There's his kick. We got his kick. We got his what? Hang on. Fireball. So hang on. Can I aim this? Hang on. Oh, yep. Oh, hang on. Sorry about that. Just taking phone calls up the wazoo. How do I reset back to the middle? Can I do that on this? So Hataru's actually got some pretty good moves, man. Right? He's got his fireball. He's got his grasshopper kick. He's got his punch. I actually like that punch, right? And then he's got like a teleport around. So he's actually pretty good. Smack. Why do MK fans prefer the 2D fighting model over 3D? Is that really a thing? There's so much more you can do in a fully open world. I don't get the limiting mindset. Look, it depends how it's done, right? So, okay, we're moving in 3D right now, right? Yeah? But when we're doing our combos and attacking, it's still in 2D. Like we're still locked onto the target. So I actually don't disagree. I actually don't mind like this sort of setup. But it sort of depends. Like I mean I wouldn't mind coming back to this. I'd sort of tweak some stuff, but I don't mind it. So bring back John Tobias. Yeah. So a footsie's not possible in full 3D. It feels a little harder. It does, yeah, it does feel a little harder. Let's check out Darius, man. I haven't seen Darius for a bit. There he is. I'm trying to think of who he reminds me of. Yeah, that's the problem. Like, Ed Boon's always had a hard-on for Tekken. That's why MK Deadly Alliance felt very much like a Mortal Kombat Tekken game. How you going, Curtis Striker? How do you feel about your cameo? Look at those weapons, man. Jesus. Oh, hang on. I'm going to answer the phone again. Hang on. Sorry guys, all big news. I think there's a baby coming on the way. Not my baby, but there's gonna be a baby popping out soon. So, but all right. Well, I'll leave it there. I just thought I'd play a little bit while I was just having a talk. But yeah, that was actually really good, exploring some of those characters and some of the special moves that they have. It's just a shame that we don't get them in a modern, in a modern setting. Unless they're going to either come up as playable or a cameo. So, but I'll leave it there, guys. So I got to run. Thanks everyone for so much for tuning in. It's been quite fun actually doing these, so it's been pretty good. But yeah. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Sorry to cut it short. And yeah, I'll see you then.